because I'm going to give you a punishment. This is not in context of worship. Now you can go home and do, you see, all the time you don't need to rely on different books. The Bible should speak itself to you. Okay? You have to evaluate what is written in it. And so, keeping silence. You know, I got another shock of my life because I am a traditional Seventh-day Adventist and I was looking for silence in Psalms. But the only verses that I found on silence were on judgment and death. And so I found verses like this. Who doesn't praise the Lord? The dead do not praise the Lord, nor any who go down into silence. You know, India is known for cricket, but I love soccer. How many of you soccer fans here? I love soccer. So, last year when Liverpool and Manchester United were playing, they came here, and I'm very hesitant, you know, because we think about stewardship and the money and everything. But my friend said, no, Simon, you have to come with me. He booked his flight from India, and he wanted to watch that match, so he came from India to watch that match. He said, you do anything, you buy that ticket, and we are going to watch that match. And we went to watch the match. First time ever in a soccer stadium, okay? And I was going crazy. As I saw all the players coming in, you know, Mohamed Salah and Mane, and all, these are superstars, by the way, okay, of soccer, and they are all coming out, and I'm like a small child. Look, that's Mane. Look, and we wanted to get a high five from them and everything. The game started. 58 minutes into the game, no team scored a goal. Okay, no team scored a goal. And we were like, man, it's $250. We paid for it, this is going to go for a waste. and my friend there said, no, don't worry, Liverpool always wins. And I'm like, yeah, we are like die-hard fans, so yeah, Liverpool will win. Don't worry, let's pray. You know, we pray. Crazy. And then, then there was this halftime, and after the halftime, the superstar of the captain of the team, Mohamed Salah, he comes in, and he just does his warm up, and 2 minutes into the game, goal! And the whole stadium, oh my goodness, it went crazy. And that was the time I sat down. I said, shame on me. I cheer up and put all my energy to hail on a player that is playing for himself. One goal will give him millions of dollars and mean nothing. Just for joy, I'm doing it. But when it comes to my God, what happens? He scores home runs and goals in my life every single day. Amen. But when I come to worship Him, I bring my leftovers for Him. Forgive us, Lord. We got to give Him all our energy. Amen. Everything. Even if you're singing a single hymn, the genre does not matter. Your attitude matters. Amen. Amen. And so in your family worships, look at your children, how they behave. If they feel that it is monotonous, up your game. Because you know what? As I said, we will all be dead and gone. But what upbringing we give our children in the home will remain forever. If we do not show the beauty of Jesus in our family worship, nobody will. We are not supposed to. I see so many parents that come to me, Pastor, my child is going away. Can you give some Bible study? And I tell them, brother or sister, I don't have a magic wand. No. If 16 years of your upbringing cannot do anything as an Adventist, I cannot do anything in 1 month. No. You have to realize that your children study more than 40 hours in public schools. And the only time that they get in church is the 3 hours that you bring them. How are you going to make it count? How are you going to make it count? Are you going to sit on your traditional books, dusty books, and read it? And just, while the child is in the digital age, while you are saying righteousness, he has 100 definitions of Google for righteousness. Your child is 20 years ahead of you. Remember that. We need to up our game. And I'm not saying that, what you are doing is wrong. No, it is not. You are giving respect and honor to God, and that is awesome. But remember, just because you are tired at your job, okay, you know where I'm going with this. Just because you have given up all the energy to the weak, you cannot say, I'm still going to make it to heaven because I'm an Adventist. No.
No way.
No. If your heart is not for God, if your worship does not come from your heart, if your heart is not set ablaze for Jesus, don't tell me churches are dying. I see so many churches, 1,000, 4,000, 5,000, 10,000. And who are these? Not even middle-aged. Young people.
Amen.
Young people make these churches. And they don't worry about formats. They don't worry about anything. What they worry about is, are we giving worship to Jesus?
Please, Lord.
We need to give worship to Jesus.
Amen.
Some people would not, believe my message unless it comes from Sister Ellen White. So here it is. Testimonies, Volume 5, page 492 and 493. The lifeless attitude of the worshippers in the house of God is one great reason why the ministry is not more productive of good. The melody of song poured forth from many hearts in clear, distinct utterance is one of God's instrumentalities in the work of saving souls.
Preach.
All the service should be conducted with solemnity and awe, as if in the visible presence of the Master of Assemblies.
Amen.
If there were some, partial preachers, they would leave the last line out. All the service should be conducted with solemnity and awe. But my prophet, Sister Ellen G. White, who saw visions of heaven and earth, who traveled 3 heavens, came back and saw visions, does not see the word solemnity and awe like you and me do. Because solemnity for us is silence. For her, solemnity was reverence. Reverence can be given. Just imagine, I was sitting on the chair, that's a very kingly chair. Thank you for bringing chairs to preachers like that. In the middle, it was such a big, I was a little uncomfortable with that, because of I'm straight in the middle. But just imagine, pulpits out, and this is a courtroom, okay? What's your name, brother? Nico. Okay? The king of Jersey City is here. All his special people are here. And they ask of the citizens of Jersey City a great entertainment or a great praise. What would you do? Pathfinders would come. Right? Adventurers. The king of Jersey City is here. Praise be to God. And we would have a nice special program. Right? Just because we cannot see God, don't think He's not the king. He is the sovereign king.
Amen. Amen.
Before He's your friend and buddy and brother and whatever, He's a sovereign king.
Amen.
And He deserves your worship.
Amen.
Not the lifeless attitude in the church. Because you know what? Lifeless attitude is hereditary. It passes on from one generation to another. You know how? With more belief, but lifeless attitude. Some belief, lifeless attitude. No belief, no attitude to worship. And so even if you don't understand biblical things, even if you don't understand some things in life, look around you. How many people do you see under the age of 35? Look around you. Because you know what? You know what? Once again, let me sound like a broken record. We will be all dead and gone. Do you want to lock down this church? No. This church has to be more vibrant than it is now.
Amen.
I am not teaching a doctrine which is not from the Bible. Remember, brothers and sisters, you can go home and you can do your study.
Amen.
We have become lifeless because we stopped giving our time to Jesus. We have become lifeless because we don't think that practicing one or two songs makes sense anymore. We have become lifeless because we cannot get up from our armchairs at home while worshiping. Put down the armchair, put down everything. Praise Him, praise Him.
Amen.
Jesus, our blessed Redeemer.
Amen.
Smile at your children, smile at your spouse, pray with your children. Buddy, who is sick in your school, let me pray for it. And then you'll see, my goodness, what is this energy? My dad, you remember you prayed for my friend the other day? He's healed.
Amen.
I'm going to come to church with you. And next time they take offering, it will not be. It won't be like that. No, it will be, hey, praise the Lord. How are you? Everything is in the attitude.
Amen.
Amen. You can know every page of the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. But if you don't have the attitude of worship, all that you have learned, you can wrap it up and put it in a cabinet to eat dust. Make a joyful shout to the Lord, all your lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before His presence with singing, knowing that the Lord is God. It is He who has made us and not we ourselves. This is the problem of our generation, my generation, that we feel that we made ourselves. Right? Have you heard in shows and everything, in this soap operas and all, there's a small children in the mother's lap and the father says, I made that. Right? I created that. No. It is He who has made us. And not we of ourselves. Because as long as we remember that, we will remember that God is the master of our life. Amen. The minute we forget that and the minute we say, oh no, God doesn't pay my bills, I pay my bills.
Thank you, Lord.
We are His people and the sheep of His pasture. Enter into His gates with thanksgiving. Read the whole chapter. Tell me where do you read silence in that chapter? Even in the lines or in between the lines. David, what was David? What was his profession? What was his? Who was he? Shepherd. He was a shepherd. But when he was anointed by God, what was he? A king, right? So he wrote that psalm. You know why? Because there must be a contingent of that lethargic soldiers, who would not march. Again, He has asked us to do an expansion of His kingdom. We gotta do some war. David's choir. How many people were there in David's choir? This choir used to lead the contingent. 3,000 people. Do you think 3,000 people? They came together with their mighty voices and sang, Holy, 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 Lord. No, they would not win any battle with them. Nobody would win any battle. How would it go? Holy, holy, holy. Sing everybody. Hoo-ha! Right? A battle cry. Shout here means a battle cry. Is there a battle cry in your life? Is there a way that you have given the Lord to worship? Your heart, your mind, your soul, your body, everything from top to bottom should worship the Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Please, Lord.
If your sleep is missing, sleep 7-8 hours on Friday or 7-8 hours on a weekday so that you can give completely to the Lord.
Amen.
If you're not eating well, go eat and come. Don't fast. If you cannot give your whole worship to God.
Amen.
Only if you can survive, then fast. Some people, they come with fast and Brother Deacon, can you pass me a bowl of water? It's okay, I don't want to sing. I'm fasting. What is that fasting? The Bible says even your brother, your neighbor should not know that you're fasting.
Amen.
Nobody should know. But if you cannot handle fasting, God does not tell you, no, don't eat. No, no. No, He does not say that. Eat well. I eat my breakfast. I cannot preach like this. I wake up in the morning. I don't care for my wife and child. Okay, I wake up in the morning and I make my best breakfast. Sometimes my wife will go, "Where's our breakfast?" I'm preparing. But yes, you have to be energized. You have to be ready because you have to give your everything. Just how you give your everything, even for the smallest job that you do during the weekdays. Right? Even a garbage man, if he's going to do his job, he would do it with all his dignity and confidence. Right? He would go to Dunkin' in the morning, give me the best roast. I want to energize myself. He'll stimulate himself. He'll go and let's hit it. Let's hit all the streets. And he goes there. I've seen some gardeners. They're amazing. When they do their job, they'll be hanging around on the truck. And they put the garbage and they'll flip it in such a way, so professional. But when it comes to church, when it comes to saving souls, when it comes to worship services, where is our energy?
Mercy.
Let me share with you a story as I close. There was this Presbyterian minister called W.E. Sangster. And his daughter is a writer. But in the 1950s, W.E. Sangster, one morning, while preaching, while he was on the pulpit, on the roster, he felt a little numbness in his legs and in his throat. Let me read to you the disease that he had. So, when he went to the doctor, I'll read it to you. When he went to the doctor, he found that he had an incurable disease that caused progressive muscular atrophy. Those who are in the medical field would know it. His muscles would gradually waste away, his voice would fail, and his throat would soon become unable to swallow. Sangster threw himself into his work in British Home Missions, figuring that he could still write and that he would have even more time for prayer. "Let me stay in the struggle, Lord," he pleaded. "I don't mind if I can no longer be a general. Give me just a regiment to lead." He wrote articles and books and helped organize prayer cells throughout England. And he used to tell people, "I am only in the kindergarten of suffering." Gradually, Sangster's legs became useless. His voice went completely silent, but he could still hold a pen shakily.
Amen.
On Easter morning, just a few weeks before he died, he wrote a letter to his daughter. Listen to this. "It is terrible to wake up on Easter morning and have no voice to shout, 'He is risen,'" he said in it. But listen to this last line. "But it would be still more terrible to have a voice and not want to shout." I want you to go with these words home. But it would still be more terrible to have a voice and not want to shout. Are you giving your best to the Lord? Are you giving your utmost to His highest?
By His grace.
By His grace, we need to give our full worship to Jesus.
Amen.
Everything will follow. You know, our young people know everything because from Pathfinders, from the age of 4 or 5, our church, they train them. But we need to know that we need more when it comes to worship.
Amen.
You know, when you eat everything and when you cannot let it out, you just bloat, right? How can you stay healthy? You need to let it out. You need to sweat it out. All that you have learned, all the goodness of God that you have learned, you have to acknowledge that to the Lord.
Amen.
Because it would be still more terrible to have a voice and not want to shout.
Mercy.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Praise the Lord. Praise God.
In response to this vibrant message, let's all rise and sing like the pastor taught us to sing, "Worthy, worthy is the Lamb."
Amen.